Now that we've sketched some angles in standard position, we're going to take a look at finding coterminal angles. In example 1b, the angles 500 degrees and 140 degrees are what's called coterminal because their terminal sides coincide. So if I look here, now remember, in order to draw this angle B, what we did is we subtracted 360 degrees because we know that 500 is greater than a full circle. And then we found that it was 140 degrees. So that's how we found out that we're going to stop in quadrant 2. This is 140 degrees. So what this is saying is that 500 degrees and 140 degrees, they're coterminal because their terminal sides end at the same place, right? So at 500 degrees, if it rotates here, it terminates here. And 140 degrees, it also terminates here. So they coincide, they stop at the same exact place. So an angle coterminal with a given angle can be found by adding or subtracting multiples of 360 degrees. So we're going to see some examples where you have to subtract more than 360, so multiples of 360. So think about 2 times 360. That is 720. And sometimes it's more than that. You have to do 3 times 360 because 360 is a full circle. In order to end at the same exact spot, you're going to have to add or subtract multiples of 360 degrees. So here we're going to find one positive angle and one negative angle that are coterminal with negative 45 degrees here and 395 degrees. So we're going to draw it just so you can see it for the first two examples, and then you don't have to draw it anymore. But hopefully this helps you to understand why these are coterminal angles. So we have negative 45. So first we know that's going to rotate clockwise. So the initial side is here, and think about 90 degrees. Negative 90 degrees is here. And so 45 is exactly halfway. So this is negative 45 degrees. Now, so I'm going to write that first. So negative 45 degrees. To find an angle coterminal to that, we can add, let's first add 360 degrees. So think about this as 360 minus 45, we are going to get 315 degrees. So what that means is if you start here on the positive x-axis and rotate counterclockwise, this is 315 degrees. Now I'll find another angle. So notice they stop at the same place. So let's start with negative 45 degrees. Now we have a positive answer, 315. So now we want a negative answer. So we're going to subtract 360 degrees. So negative 45 minus 360, that ends up being negative 405 degrees. So if we are here, we start on the initial side. That means if it's negative 405, we're going to rotate an entire circle, and then it ends at the same exact spot. So this green represents negative 405 degrees. Let's try that for letter B. We have 395 degrees, and then 395. So first, I'm going to subtract, so I want a negative. So let's subtract 360. Subtract 360 first, because I know that's still going to be positive, right? 360 is smaller than 395. So when I subtract 360 degrees, that ends up being 35 degrees. So I know 35 degrees, so this is 90 degrees here, and this is 0. Remember, it rotates clockwise. So 35 degrees is here. So there's 35 degrees. Now 395 degrees, just to kind of draw that out, that starts here, and then it rotates one full circle and then ends up there. So our blue is 395 degrees. Now if we want a negative angle, so notice if I already subtracted 360, I'm going to have to subtract another 360 here. So one way to look at that is I'm going to subtract 2 times 360 degrees. Because 2 times 360, that is negative 720 degrees. So that's a multiple of 360. So this is 395 degrees minus 720 degrees. So that's what it means by multiple of 360. So 395 minus 720 degrees, that ends up being negative 325 degrees. So to draw that, you're going to start here on this initial side, and then it rotates 325 degrees, negative 325, which is right here. So it's less than a full circle. So on both of these, we found a positive and a negative angle that is coterminal with the angle given. Same thing here, we're given 395. And then so we have a positive angle and a negative angle. There are multiple answers that you can get because it depends. You could have added 360 if you wanted to, and that would get you a positive coterminal angle. And then you could have subtracted 3 times 360 if you wanted to as well. So try out these 4 examples down here, 5, 6, 7, and 8. You don't have to draw them, just show your work. So for number 5, you write 80 degrees and you add 360 and then 80 degrees minus 360 and then what is the answer? So try these 4. So if you tried this out, some sample examples would be number 5, 80 degrees, you could have positive 440 and negative 280 degrees. For number 6, you would get positive 590 degrees and negative 130 degrees. For number 7, you could have 380 degrees and then negative 340 degrees. Number 8, you could have 225 degrees and negative 495 degrees.